I'd been married for 7 years. Not perfect, not awful, just the kind of marriage you stop examining too closely because it feels safer that way. We met young, grew up together, built routines, inside jokes, shared bills, shared plans. I thought stability meant loyalty. That was my first mistake. The signs didn't arrive like sirens. They crept in quietly. Shorter answers. A sharper tone. Her patience evaporated over nothing, how I chewed, how I breathed, how I asked normal questions. She started guarding her phone like it was a live grenade. If I walked into a room, she'd tilt the screen away and snap, "Can I have 2 minutes without being monitored?" I told myself she was stressed. Work, burnout, hormones, pick your excuse. I picked all of them. Anything but the truth. There was a shift in how she looked at me too. Not anger exactly. More like annoyance mixed with contempt. As if I had already done something unforgivable just by existing. I remember thinking, when did I become the problem in my own marriage? A few weeks later, the emotional distance turned physical. She stopped touching me unless it was accidental. No casual hand on my arm. No leaning into me on the couch. Bed felt like a shared waiting room, lights off, backs turned, silence thick enough to choke on. Her schedule suddenly exploded. Late meetings. Emergency work calls. Girls' nights that ran until 2 a.m. If I questioned anything, she bit back hard. "Do you want a wife or a parole officer?" That line came up a lot. It shut me up every time. She also started rewriting history. According to her, our marriage had always been bad. I was always emotionally unavailable. I never supported her. This was news to me, but she said it with such confidence that I started doubting my own memory. I noticed she'd shower the moment she got home. Clothes straight into the laundry. New perfume I'd never bought her. When I mentioned it, she rolled her eyes and said I was imagining patterns because I was insecure. Then came the first moment I couldn't rationalize. She came home smiling, not a normal smile, but a private one, as if she was still replaying a joke someone else had told her. Her phone buzzed in the shower. I didn't look, but I saw the name, a man's name I didn't recognize, light up before disappearing. Casual. Familiar. When she came out and I asked, she said, "A coworker." Why? Something in her tone warned me not to push. So I didn't. I lay there staring at the ceiling, hoping to wake up stupid. I didn't go digging at first. Part of me still believed that if I didn't search for the truth, it couldn't hurt me. Then the evidence tripped over itself. She asked me to grab her laptop from the car one morning. As I opened it, a chat window popped up. Already open. No password. Inside jokes, flirting, "I miss you already, last night was fun," smiley faces she hadn't used with me in years. My hands went cold. I scrolled just enough to understand what I was seeing, then slammed the laptop shut. When I confronted her, she didn't deny it immediately. "It's nothing," she said. "You're reading it wrong." I asked what last night meant. She sighed, annoyed. We grabbed drinks after work. "God, you always do this." I wanted to believe her. I really did. But the lie came out too fast, too smooth. Denial started cracking, and once it cracked, everything rushed in. The lies multiplied. Every explanation spawned 2 contradictions. Drinks with the group became drinks with him. They barely talked, yet messages were nonstop. She rewrote history, shifted blame, and accused me of being controlling. She laughed at me, called me ridiculous. That laugh hurt more than the messages. She deleted chats, changed passwords, and every time I noticed, she had an excuse ready: "Work glitch, you're obsessed." I felt like I was losing my grip on reality. The confirmation didn't come from a confession. It came from exhaustion. One night she came home later than usual, irritated before I even spoke. I asked where she'd been. She snapped out like I'd asked for state secrets. When I pressed, contradictions piled up. Finally, she exploded, "Why are you doing this? Why are you trying to catch me in something?" That question answered everything. I knew she was lying. After that, she admitted just enough to stall further questions. It was emotional, not physical. Only happened recently. She was confused, lonely, not feeling seen. Each answer minimized her guilt and maximized sympathy. When pressed, emotional became maybe a kiss, recently became a few months, lonely became you weren't there for me. She had no shame, no fear of losing me, just irritation that the secret was out. "I didn't think you'd take it this hard," she said. That sentence rewired me. She had already detached. I was just catching up. Watching her choose him was excruciating. She didn't cut contact. She compared us aloud, not kindly. He was easy to talk to, he listened, he didn't overanalyze everything. Each comment felt deliberate, like she wanted me to understand I was already losing. Her phone buzzed mid-argument once. She smiled at it. No apology, just annoyance. When I asked if she wanted to be married, she paused before saying, "I don't know what I want. But I know I don't want to feel trapped." She wasn't torn between us. She was testing limits. Every time I stayed, she went further. Then came emotional free fall. Anger burned out first. What replaced it was emptiness. I went through my days on autopilot, staring at walls, replaying conversations, wondering how I missed the moment she stopped choosing me. I couldn't eat. My chest felt tight. She noticed, seemed relieved, stayed out later, took more calls, dressed differently, not for me, never for me. I realized I was mourning a marriage I had to accept was already over. The shift came quietly. I stopped checking her phone, her mood, her location. Not because I trusted her, but because I didn't care enough to chase. She noticed, suspicious. "Are you mad at me?" she asked. "No," I said. And for the first time, it was true. She tried to provoke me, fish for reassurance, manipulate. I didn't bite. I realized she wasn't grieving the marriage, she was grieving the version of me that let her act consequence-free. Choosing myself didn't feel empowering at first. It felt wrong, like betrayal. But I set boundaries. I stopped covering for her. Stopped adjusting my life to accommodate her. When she accused me of being cold or selfish, I almost apologized, then caught myself. I contacted a lawyer quietly, just for information. The more grounded I became, the more erratic she got. Affection, cruelty, sudden charm, all attempts to regain control. That version of me was gone. The final confrontation came over coffee. She tried to charm, joke, twist reality. I laid it out calmly. "I know everything. I'm done pretending ignorance. I'm done letting you decide how this marriage lives or dies." She blinked in disbelief, then mask-slipped anger, frustration, panic. "You're acting like a victim," she spat. "You think you're so righteous." "I'm not acting. I'm choosing myself. You've made your choice. Now it's time I make mine." She went silent. For the first time, she had no control. And I felt free, even wrapped in heartbreak. Weeks later, the house felt hollow, quiet, but not oppressive. I reclaimed routines, cooking, sleeping, gym, friends. I journaled, cried, raged, let myself feel every messy emotion. Slowly, pain dulled. I could breathe. Imagine a life not defined by her choices. Then came the unavoidable decision: salvage what remained or walk away and reclaim my life. Every honest answer led to one conclusion: no. I told her I was leaving. She reacted with anger, disbelief, threats, guilt. I listened once, then disengaged. Making the decision didn't feel like victory. It felt like survival. Loyalty and love are worth nothing if not mutual. Choosing myself wasn't selfish, it was necessary. Months later, I've unpacked all of it. Sharp pain dulled. I've learned, trust your instincts. Denial is dangerous. Boundaries aren't optional. Self-respect is everything. I don't hate her. I pity her choices. But I know I'm stronger than I realized. Strong enough to leave, grieve, and rebuild. To anyone in a similar situation, it's brutal, messy, heartbreaking, but you can survive. You can reclaim your life. One day, you'll realize the betrayal didn't define you, you did.